You can transition to a healthy vegan lifestyle through junk food. Yes, junk food. For Christmas and Thanksgiving last year, I tried really hard to make good, healthy vegan meals. Trying to make my food and my family's food and all the party foods from every party that we went to, it just got really, really hard. And I ended up eating like anything I wanted, everything I wanted, as much as I wanted, all through Thanksgiving and Christmas. But by the time New Year's came, I was just so ready to go back to eating healthy. I couldn't eat this way anymore. All my symptoms were back. I was puffy again. I am puffy again. So since I had to transition again because I ate bad for 2 months, I thought it would be a good idea to show you guys how to transition through junk food, because that's how I did it. And it was so much easier for me. There are some pictures at the end of the video if you want to stick around and look at those and see kind of how I did this. To start out, I just made a couple goals that I knew I could stick to. I told myself I would drink more water in the morning, so I would drink a whole quart of water right when I get up, and then I would make oatmeal. So in my oatmeal I would put a little bit of sugar or maple syrup in there and mix it up, and then I would put a few dairy-free chocolate chips and some PB2. I ate that for 2 or 3 days, and I started adding in like a healthy lunch. So like a big plate of rice with a whole bunch of vegetables. During this time, if I really craved something, I ate it. And I didn't feel guilty. I felt good because I was like, I can do this. And I said that to myself so many times out loud. Just say you can do this and do it. And so I even ate a couple things, like I would add in like a handful of chips, even if it was like a handful of cheese Doritos. Like I know they're not healthy and they're not a vegan snack, but I had those unhealthy snacks that I loved and that comforted me and made me feel good and not deprived. The whole goal to this is eat those junk foods that help you not feel deprived. Yes, if you go to a vegan junk food, it's going to help you so much more and you'll make faster progress. But take this initial thing pretty slow, like just think, okay, I'm going to take time to transition. Give yourself a month or 2 if you have to, but transition slowly. Add those things in that make you not feel deprived, because when we start feeling deprived, we start binging on things. And we don't want to eat healthy because we've binged so much and we're craving so much stuff. So you probably know this, but the food when you first start, like the healthy food, the rice and the vegetables and all that, they don't taste that good because they don't have all the oil and salt and sugars that make us crave food. And so it tastes bland and blah. And that's again why I had like a handful of potato chips, because I would just scarf that food down that didn't taste that great, and then I would eat my potato chips and I felt satisfied and I felt fine, and it was so easy to just stick to it because I knew I could have that little something that made it worth it. So after I got used to eating drinking water in the morning, eating oatmeal for breakfast, eating a healthy lunch with some rice or beans or vegetables. After that, I started eating something healthy for dinner. So I added in like a salad or pasta, some type of spaghetti. Sometimes I would add a little bit of meat to it just to give it that extra flavor that I was craving. But as long as I had mostly vegan and plant-based and added just a little extra thing, sometimes I would have some cheese on it or some Parmesan cheese, that kind of kicked that craving and that feeling of feeling deprived. But again, if I had to, I would add a handful of chips. I would make plentiful Kiki's cheese sauce, and I would steam some broccoli every day. And sometimes I'd have some extra pasta in the fridge. Almost every single day, that was my go-to, like throwing some cheese sauce on some steamed broccoli, and then even putting some pasta in there. It was so good, and it was my go-to. I ate it all the time. Even though I didn't know what to make, that's pretty much what I ate. I would have some baked potatoes already baked in the fridge so that they were easy to peel and just fry up in the pan with no oil. Sometimes I put cheese sauce on those. Like a fast go-to for me. I still eat it a lot. So after dinner, almost every night, I would have like this little sweet tooth where I just wanted something sweet. I did for a while eat a few things that I wasn't supposed to, like a little piece of chocolate. I started making high carb Hannah's brownie recipe. It is so good, you guys. You guys should get her book and make those, because those kicked my craving so fast. They tasted just as good as anything else, and I didn't crave the unhealthy junk food. If I had a craving, say like Chinese food, and I wanted Chinese food so bad, I would go and sit in front of YouTube and I would watch Hannah and Kiki, and I would watch a bunch of other people cooking vegan food. I would watch YouTube and I would find the best thing that I could find that looked so good that would kick that Chinese food craving. And I would find a recipe, I'd write it down, and I would go to the store if I had to, and I'd buy the stuff for it. When I made it, it usually kicked that craving. I did that a lot. That's what I would do. And it really, really helped me stay on track, and it helped me keep going. If it wasn't that great, I would just scarf it down anyways, and again, have like a handful of chips or an Oreo. And that usually took the craving away. I didn't have like the urge to go buy Chinese food. It's so easy just to cut the junk food out and start eating way more healthier stuff. And if you're craving something sweet or like a muffin or pancakes, make it. Just try and make it vegan if possible. And, you know, eat as much of it as you want. Like sometimes I had to like eat a whole bunch of bread, and I didn't care about my weight at the time because I was transitioning. I'm just like, you know, I'm transitioning. If I eat all this stuff, I don't care. I don't care if I gain weight. I'm just going to get my body used to this, and I'm just going to get to where I want the healthy food and not the unhealthy food. And it worked. Like I didn't crave. It was so easy to not crave anything. And yes, I still had like that sweet tooth, but the vegan stuff was cutting that craving. And so as long as the vegan stuff is cutting those cravings for you, you will succeed on this. So the goal is to eat so much healthy food. Even if you're eating a little bit of unhealthy food, the goal is to eat so much healthy food, it kicks those cravings. And I've seen that time and time again. I've transitioned so many times that every single time I do it, your cravings go away, and it really works. If you can eat way more healthy food, so a ton of rice, a ton of vegetables, a ton of beans, potatoes, and then you have those sauces to go on it, like ranch. I have a really good ranch recipe. Your cheese sauce, it gets easier and easier. So when you go into this, think, I'm gonna do this for health and not to lose weight, because when you start focusing on the weight, like you guys heard in my last video, it totally threw me off, and I would be so much further now if I would have just stuck with it. I did it for 6 months, and because I wasn't losing weight, I gave up. And guess where I am now? I'm puffy again. I don't feel good again. I'm trying to get all back on this and eat healthier. It's not worth it. Just don't give up. I know if I would have stuck to it, I would have either been skinnier by now, or my health would have been 10 times better than it is now. Totally focus on the weight loss later. Like once you've already transitioned, you're so used to it, you're not craving anything, you're feeling lighter and healthier and better and happier, then you can start being a little bit more strict to lose the weight. And you can do it. And I know I can do it, and we'll figure this out. Don't forget to subscribe so that we can continue all this together. So eat popcorn whenever you want.